what you're saying. Nani? Get out my business, okay?
So I appreciate you. Let's get into it, shall we? Hey, how you doing? My name's Hiro. This is the Identity Booth, and you're probably a Joe Rogan fan or a Joe Rogan blowhard, and you saw the headline of this or the title of this and thought to yourself, let me say something mean to this guy. But I'm going to implore. Like, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to beg you. And let me talk to you like Joe Rogan talks. Hey, how you doing? This is Joe Rogan Experience. And I just want to better understand the situation that you're coming from, and I want to better understand like the ideas of in the society of ideas. I want to throw something at you. Can you try and contribute to this conversation beyond insults? Like, is that something within your realm of possibility? I don't know. What do you think about that? Is that something you could do? You see how like I feign ignorance to kind of ploy you in. It's part of his stunt, and it's a great show. He's a great showsman. I love his energy and his ability to drag people into his shit show of a situation. But he often says things to be triggering. He often says things that are wrong, and I'm going to prove it to you. And the thing that's crazy about this is that he knows he's wrong, and he could have just done the bare minimum to have the person who wrote the article come on the show, but he didn't do that. But basically, Joe Rogan's in the news today because he decided to bring up the fact that a paper about chicken-related vaccines showed that in a specific viral vector that bad vaccination can cause breakout cases to more professors up. But why am I defending him? Let's just hear it from the GOAT himself. I didn't check to see if my audio was working with this, so let's make sure real quick. So we'll test it right now. Hopefully this works. So somebody let me know if there's an echo in this. I'd appreciate it.
Things. And this is neither pro nor con vaccine. This is not a judgment statement, but imperfect vaccination can enhance the here's what an important quote. Vaccines that keep the host alive but still allow transmission can thus allow virulent strains to circulate in a population. So vaccines that don't kill the virus, vaccines that allow people, like this is one of the things we're finding out about what they're calling breakthrough cases.
Right.
So people who are vaccinated can still get COVID and they can still transmit COVID.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have to stop him right here. He's an idiot. Once again, these two viruses and vaccines do not correlate on any realm of possibility. This is talking about a study done on chickens from 2015 that was just a microcosm of the general gist of the story and everything else that he missed in this. But also to put into perspective on this, breakout cases are not new. Breakout cases are how vaccines are supposed to work. Since day one, we've known that there'll be breakout cases. This is nothing new to us. But he can't help himself, right? He can't help himself because whether he's doing it out of pure ignorance or just for shits and giggles. And if it's for shits and giggles, hey, more power to him. I hope he makes it. I hope he gets the money that he wants and prosper and move forward. But this is dangerous, man. 700,000 people are dead. And a vast majority of them thought Joe Rogan was cool. I am not one of them. I definitely admire his hustle. Do not see myself ever sitting down and having sushi with him. Personal opinion. But if you can't look at your heroes with a careful eye, I'm here to tell you something. You're a sidekick to a bad guy. This is dangerous stuff. Let's move to 3 minutes and 8 seconds, which is when the next hot take comes out of his goddamn mouth.
People who are even epidemiologists, even people that deal with diseases and viruses, they're concerned. And they don't want to talk about it publicly because people call them anti-vaxxers.
Oh, yeah.
It's really wild out there.
Oh, it's wild because they've somehow managed...
I don't know who this fuckface is.
Meaning the political elite and then I think their established media representatives have somehow managed to turn this into a political issue, right? Mm-hmm. And that's dangerous. Like, it's dangerous for any politician to play in that game where they're using something as meaningful and quite possibly dangerous for the country as political
He doesn't.
posturing or virtue signaling.
All right. If you keep saying politicians who use this platform to speak on these things is very dangerous, shut up and say the politician's name. Who's the politician that made this politicized? Who's the politician who didn't want to take the necessary steps to close down the country so that we could save 700,000 people from dying? When we talk about holding people accountable, when our elected officials blatantly lie to us to keep financial profits moving forward, they should be arrested. And fuckfaces like him are defending him. Trump made this political. The Republican Party has made this political. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, is selling T-shirts for $21.99 minus shipping and handling to get a shirt that says, "Don't vouch my Florida." It's disgusting. It's disgusting. You can buy a Trump card that says official because they spelled official wrong. And they got the markings from Aryan Brothers. It's just disgusting. But he thinks he has a hot take. Politicians. No, say the politicians' names, you idiot.
And you see it all the time because you see these guys are wearing their masks for the camera, but then they take them off.
AOC just got busted doing that yesterday. You see the video?
Yeah,
she
of course.
Had no mask on, hanging out with everybody, and then they go to take a picture.
Yeah.
She puts the mask on and then takes it off after the picture's done.
Yeah, because somebody came up to her party that she, in a private residence, and same thing, Obama, they had a private situation going on private property, and then some people came to wanted to interview her and ask questions. She clearly put on her mask out of respect for the people who she didn't know were vaccinated. It's called being courteous. Now, I'll give Joe Blow here some credit for Obama's situation.
They can
if
have
true.
parties. What is it?
How about Obama?
Yeah, Obama's having that 700 guest party or
I heard
whatever
he's going to tone
it
it
is.
down to 600.
Yeah,
because of the pandemic. He's
Yeah.
going to make it a little lighter.
but you can't go to a gym in New York.
Right.
Unless you have a vaccination card, or
Right.
you can't go out to eat. We're going to shut down small businesses. You can't go to a comedy club. And I think it's
rules for thee and not for me scenario, and people read right through that shit. Because
I can see this.
I think
even agree to this,
which is fucking terrifying. I know smart people that are applauding it. It's so strange. And the problem with applauding vaccine passports, this is part of the problem. They are not going to give that power up.
No.
They're not going to. They're going to find a reason to continue to use that. If they can figure out...
I think it's crazy that his big brain was able to look this far into the future without understanding why we're here. We're here because personal responsibility is not accountability. Let me say that shit again. Having personal responsibility is not something that people understand as accountability. Personal responsibility to them means I can do whatever I want. In reality, what we really need is accountability. Because as long as this virus can kill someone other than yourself, we not going. We not going. Hey, it's the American motto. So, like, he's not even acknowledging that if people had just done what we were supposed to do when we were told to, we would be out of this situation already. We would be looking like other countries already. But America, we're too big to fail, right? Let's get into this. Because let's find out the real reason why he thinks this is going on, right? Why this pandemic is really going. Let's see him get into it.
Here. And how did it do that? It did it through freedom. Because when you give people freedom, you let people do whatever the fuck they want to do, they actually find ways to succeed and grow and thrive. But as soon as you put the boots to them, as soon as you tell them, you have to do this or you can't do that, you have to listen to me, now you have a mini dictator. You have one step away from a king. You have one step closer. You're moving one step closer to dictatorship. That's what the fuck is happening. That's what's going to happen with a vaccine.
He is grandizing this way past it. For 17 months, we begged people to put on masks. We pled with people to put on masks. Stay at home. Don't do this. And people said, fuck you, before they even understood the ramifications of their actions. I can't stress this enough. People begging for the vaccine minutes before they are put to sleep and intubated so they can die. But you don't want to bring that fact up, right? It's so easy to talk about this from the angle of being oppressed. White people, and once again, and if this makes your butt pucker, I'm talking to you. But white people like this love to feel oppressed because they don't have anything to be mad about. And they see the world on fire and they want to be involved. The pandemic literally became people's flat earth. Like, people would meet up and become friends over this shit. That was a thing for them. This is a loser take right here. This is 0 out of 10 for him. But let's keep going.
Vaccine passport, that's what's going to happen if they close borders. You can't enter New York City unless you have your papers. You can't go to here unless you have that. You can't get on a plane unless you do what I say. And people say, whoa, it's all about protecting people from the... No, it's not. It's not, because we've shown this is a fact. Just a couple of months ago, the idea of a breakthrough case was unheard of. Nobody...
That is a lie. That is literally a lie. We know that breakout cases were something part of vaccines. All vaccines are built like this. Polio, every virus that has been known to man, all of that stuff. In fact, let's just put this into context. The measles outbreak of 2019, when 38 children died in Washington, they died because a breakout case happened, and the people who died were people who were not vaccinated. That's how it literally happens. A breakout case happens, someone who is, and this is what it means, when you're inoculated, meaning you have the vaccine on board, you do not show symptoms, so you might be perceived as asymptomatic. It doesn't affect you, but someone who doesn't have the vaccine on board gets infected, and this spreads. And your chances of spreading the vaccine are minimal. If, for example, if you were a person who was unvaccinated, you would have the ability to spread it to 10 people. But if you were a vaccinated person, you would probably spread it to only one person. You see how someone who can spread it to 10 would multiply faster, causing mutation to happen faster? Meanwhile, someone who can only pass it to one, if you pass it to one person and you have it and you pass it to another vaccinated person, it then gets cut again in half because their system is defended against it. Do you see how having people on board with vaccines helps eliminate the virus? That's how it seems to make it. And this is what it is. It's just that these people don't understand how vaccines, how numbers work, how basic. This is why basic statistics are important. This is why analytical analysis is so detrimental. This is why being able to read a fucking pie chart is more than colors. You have to understand these basic concepts of algebra, arithmetic, to understand how shit works like this. You don't even need to be a virologist. You just need to understand that half of one is less than 10. But this is not something that he's willing to even pretend is relevant because it doesn't suit his narrative. This is a disgenuine argument, a bad argument, whatever the word is. They made a whole entire, that should be in the quickies. Let's hear the rest of this idiot and then get out of here.
Anybody catching COVID that had a vaccine, right? That was the whole idea. You get a vaccine, you don't have to worry about it.
And shame on the person for just saying, being a sheep, right? Right. Like, what do you need validation for? You said what you said. Why do you need this validation? This is such a sheep mentality.
Now we know not only do you get it, but you can spread it. And some people have died. Apparently, it's a small number. I don't know what the numbers are,
but
I know that most people who get vaccinated,
300.
when they do have the disease, they have a better time of it than the people who are unvaccinated. But where are the people out there calling for people to get healthy? Where are the people?
And this is a classic distract and dissociation tactic. Instead of getting to the root cause analysis, which is, he just answered the question. This is so crazy. He's literally said it, and I have to replay it because And his loyal fans will skip over this and be like, I'm being a douchebag. But he literally said people with the vaccine don't have such a tough time as people who don't have the vaccine. So that would imply that having the vaccine is a benefit to us, right? Wrong. He wants you to believe that something else is the blame.
It's a small number. I don't know what the numbers are, but I know that most people who get vaccinated, when they do have the disease, they have a better time of it than the people who are unvaccinated.
So in that short sentence, he's literally told us the answer to all of our problems right now. Get vaccinated and we will have less of a problem, a better time with this. He's literally told us the answer, but it's, once again, doesn't suit his narrative, and he's not a genuine individual when it comes to talking about this, because he would rather sell you stuff at the end of his show, because you know he has all these ads for health and all this bullshitting. Get your muscles, and you feeling low. You're not rock hard like you used to. Buy my pills. Be healthy. Look at me. I'm in shape. I'm cool. He sells these things, so it doesn't strike me as weird when this is his reason for why people get COVID.
But where are the people out there calling for people to get healthy? Where are the people out there calling for people to lose weight? 78% of the people in the ICU for COVID are obese. 78.
Funny how he can pull stats out of his ass now. That's the first number he's pulled out. Ironically, is based on the numbers based on body weight percentage, because once again, at the end of his show, he's trying to sell you some shit and he wants you to pay attention to it because this is the first time he's brought up numbers. It's crazy how good he is at this, but it's mind-boggling how many people fall for it.
8%. Where's that information being shared? Where's someone who's a leader who gets on TV and says, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to decrease our body mass. We've got to decrease our fat. We've got to make sure that people aren't overweight. We've got to make sure that people are healthy. Walk around your block. You don't have to do something complicated. Start drinking more water. Stop eating sugar. Start taking vitamins. You can increase the strength of your immune system. We can fight things off better. We can be a healthier civilization. Better for everybody, right? You don't hear a...
Right? It's so bad. It's so bad. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like being in shape and working out. Clearly, I'm a individual that enjoys working out. Meet me in the ring if you got beef. Hands me then. Beat your ass. But ultimately, like, I mean, am I doing this for the algorithm? Sure. But moreover, am I doing this so that a bunch of people who look like me don't fall victim to idiots like this? Yeah, that's really why we're here. We're here to protect the people and give them pertinent information. It's easy. Just talk to your doctor. And actually, that might be difficult because, you know, healthcare is expensive and tied to people's salary. But I think we need to be making a vested interest, put a vested energy into proper education of this situation. Joe Rogan is a comedian, host, commentator. He's not the person to be asking about these type of things. I don't feel like oh man, I love me some cardio. You know I love me some running. I be running my ass off. I be running my miles. I love Keisha. Do you, Keisha? Are we competing on the Apple Watch thing? Keisha, I challenge you. I want to show you that I be out here hitting them. I be out there chopping it up, man. But hey, this is my ideas. These are my thoughts. These are my theories. I'm interested to hear your perspective on this. If you made it this far, congratulations, kudos to you. Hey, all you Joe Blows and Joe Rogan lovers, I don't got no beef with you. I just want to have a genuine conversation about the facts with you. And that's what we're here to do in an identity booth. Identify with each other as we try to identify with the world, right? Identify with me as I identify with you. It's not that hard. Hey, hey, Keisha, come on, let's go. I want to go. Heads up, baby. Let's do this. And I want to challenge you. It is challenge day. It is challenge day. I want to see what you got. But moreover, I am super excited that I made it to the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been awesome. We got a lot of good things done. I'll hopefully be able to catch up with you guys there. It was a slow week. I didn't really have that many stories to tell.
But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime. And I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on my line and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night. Don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight. Slow it down and we can catch the vibes.